Imagine being told you have type 2 diabetes and feeling like your life will never be the same. For many years, a type 2 diabetes diagnosis did feel like a permanent sentence, a lifelong condition you could only manage. When Jez was diagnosed at just 25 years old, his nurse told him bluntly that he'd have to live with diabetes forever, just managing it day by day. Jez refused to accept that. Fast forward a few years, after losing over 50 kilograms, about 110 pounds, Jez's blood sugar levels returned to normal, and he came off all his medications. He proved that nurse wrong. Getting into remission filled me with a level of power and an immense amount of pride, he said. His story is real-life proof that type 2 diabetes is not necessarily a life sentence, and he's not alone. Today, I want to share a message of hope. Whether you're newly diagnosed or have lived with diabetes for years, you deserve to know this. Type 2, diabetes can go into remission. In other words, your diabetes can stop affecting your daily life and you can regain control of your health. This isn't about miracles or some secret cure. It's about real people, real science, and real success stories. Let's talk about why type 2 diabetes is not a life sentence and the proof behind it. Now, what does diabetes remission really mean? First, let's clear up what remission means. In the simplest terms, remission in type 2 diabetes means your blood sugar levels have dropped back into a normal, healthy range without needing diabetes medications, and they stay that way for an extended period of time. Doctors usually like to see your blood sugars normal for at least a few months, often 3 to 6 months, with no meds on board, before they use the word remission. It's almost as if the disease has gone to sleep or disappeared, even though you had it before. Now, you might hear experts say remission instead of cure for an important reason. With an infection like, say, bronchitis, you take antibiotics and you're cured, it's gone for good. Type 2 diabetes is a bit different. Think of it like this. Your blood sugar is on a sliding scale. You can slide into diabetic levels, and with the right changes, you can slide back out of them. But if those changes go away, for example, if weight creeps back on, your blood sugar can slide back into the diabetes range. That's why doctors prefer the term remission. It means we've got it under control without meds right now, but it could return if we're not careful. Don't let that scare you, though. Remission is a powerful place to be. It can prevent complications and basically give you a diabetes-free life as long as it lasts. And the amazing news is that for many people, remission can last years, and potentially a lifetime, if they maintain the healthy changes. In fact, some people in studies have stayed in remission for over 5 years and counting. So, when we say type 2 diabetes is not a life sentence, we mean that you are not necessarily stuck with high sugars and medications forever. You might be able to put the condition into hibernation, so to speak, and keep it there. Now, let's talk about how people are achieving this. Next, how remission happens. You're probably wondering, okay, how do I actually send my diabetes into remission? The answer boils down to tackling the root causes of type 2 diabetes, primarily excess fat in the body that leads to insulin resistance and overwhelms your pancreas. Don't worry, I'll explain what that means in a friendly way. Research by professors like Roy Taylor and Mike Lean has shown that too much fat in the liver and pancreas is a major culprit in type 2 diabetes. Think of it like this. Your liver and pancreas are organs that help regulate blood sugar. If they get clogged up with excess fat, they stop working properly, kind of like an engine clogged with gunk. The pancreas can't produce insulin effectively, and the insulin it does produce doesn't work well because your body's cells are resistant to it. The sugar in your blood then has trouble getting into cells and starts building up, leading to high blood glucose levels. The key to remission is clearing out that excess fat so these organs can reset and do their job right again. And how do we remove that fat? Weight loss, especially loss of fat from around the organs, is the #1 driver of remission in most cases. Significant weight loss. This is the cornerstone. Now, I'm not talking about dropping a couple of pounds and magically curing diabetes. We're talking meaningful weight loss, on the order of 10 kilograms or more, in many successful cases. One major trial in the UK found that almost half of people on an intensive weight loss program reversed their type 2 diabetes within a year. And here's something really encouraging. The more weight people lost, the greater their chance of remission. In that study, about 34% of those who lost 5 to 10 kilograms managed to put their diabetes into remission, 57% of those who lost 10 to 15 kilograms did so, and a whopping 86% of those who lost 20 kilograms or more did so. 15 kilograms, 33 pounds or more, were diabetes-free after 1 year. 86%. That's almost everyone in that top weight loss group. It shows that losing substantial weight can literally reverse the disease in the majority of people who can do it. Why? Because shedding that fat from the liver and pancreas lets insulin start working properly again, like taking heavy sandbags off a balloon so it can rise. Healthy diet, low calorie or low carb. How do you lose that weight and improve your blood sugar? Diet is a huge part. Different strategies have worked for different people, but 2 approaches stand out in research: calorie reduction, eating a low-calorie diet, often around 800 to 1,000 calories a day for a few months, under medical supervision, has shown dramatic results. This was the strategy in the DIRECT study that helped so many people reverse their diabetes. In fact, some people in that study saw their blood sugars normalize in just a week or 2 of a very low-calorie diet. Their fasting blood glucose dropped to normal within 7 days, and it coincided with a drop in liver fat. It's as if the body quickly started clearing out the sugar traffic jam once the calorie intake fell. Carbohydrate reduction. Another effective approach is focusing on low-carbohydrate diets. By cutting down on sugars and starchy foods, bread, pasta, rice, etc., you reduce blood sugar spikes and often naturally eat fewer calories because you're filling up on proteins, healthy fats, and veggies. Some people have achieved remission by adopting a low-carb or even ketogenic diet. One recent study in primary care clinics found that about 51% of patients who followed a low-carb diet were able to achieve remission, meaning they got off all diabetes meds with normal blood sugars. Intermittent fasting. This is a newer twist that some folks have used with success. Intermittent fasting means not eating for a stretch of time each day or week. For example, the popular 16-to-8 method involves a 16-hour fast and 8-hour eating window each day. By extending the time your body isn't consuming food, you allow insulin levels to drop and your body to burn stored fat for energy. Getting active. Exercise is like the unsung hero in this story. While changing diet is usually the heavy lifter in weight loss, adding physical activity supercharges your body's ability to use blood sugar. When you move your muscles, whether it's walking, cycling, swimming, dancing, whatever you enjoy, your cells become more sensitive to insulin. It's as if exercise opens the doors on your cells to let glucose in and be burned for fuel. Early and aggressive action. One pattern seen in a lot of success stories is taking action soon after diagnosis. The sooner you tackle the problem, the better your odds of remission. That doesn't mean it's ever too late. People have improved or reversed diabetes even after many years, but the highest remission rates happen in those who start changing course ASAP. Why? In early stages, the pancreas hasn't been damaged as much and may recover more fully. Don't be discouraged if you've had diabetes for a long time, because you can still achieve remission if you are determined.